Here we go again, new group of players dropped into the same new era. This might be the last time with Survivor 50 right around the corner. So we are going to be breaking down the cast of Survivor Season 49 and giving our early predictions. This is an extremely early video for Survivor 49 as it won't start airing until September 2025. Don't worry, as always, we are avoiding any and all spoilers in this video and simply breaking everything down I have found on these 18 new players from stalking them across social media. Now, this could be proven wrong if you are watching this video in a couple days, but the newest rumor is 2 of these players will be competing on Survivor 50. We will talk about all of it. So without wasting any time, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
I feel like this is when Survivor turns into a horror movie.
Without going in any particular order, we are starting things off with Jawin Pitts. Jawin is 28 years old from Los Angeles, California, and I'm hoping you're paying attention to that because we have tons of players on Survivor 49 from California. This can make the pre-merge interesting just like we saw for Survivor 48.
I'd rather be in this position with the California girls, me, Joe, and Shaheen, because it means we are in the majority with 2 Siva stragglers.
Look for Jawin to be fairly safe in the early parts of the game with his physical strength, and already one of my favorites this season following me back on Instagram. And fun fact, he has directed a few short films.
Jawin Pitts in the house. He is a filmmaker here in Los Angeles from New Jersey, right?
Yes, what's up guys? Thank you so much for having me.
What are you doing coming up?
So I'm currently working on my first short film out of college.
Having anything at all in common with your fellow Survivor players is found to be a huge advantage to start the game, whether it be living in the same area, a familiar occupation, or even as silly as having the same name. Yes, that's a huge thing this season, and we will be breaking it all down later in the video. This season even broke a record that stood since Survivor Borneo with the least amount of unique first initials. But don't worry, we are putting on our detective glasses and fully stalking all of these players on social media. Multiple people have already followed me back on Instagram, and some people with their very own YouTube channels. So make sure you stay watching until the very end so that you don't miss out on anyone from this cast of 18 new Survivor players. And I'll be throwing in a couple of my early winner picks along the way.
People say that I don't write enough love songs, so I wrote a love song for the divorced people. This one's called Sugar.
Next up from Austin, Texas, we have Annie Davis. It's always interesting the casting decisions that are made as she is already verified on Instagram with 18,000 followers. It probably has something to do with the fact that she is a singer and is currently on tour. So the first player we already talked about and now Annie are both part of the entertainment industry. But what has me the most worried about Annie is being 49 years old. It's a stereotype that the oldest woman never does well on Survivor, so let's get into the oldest male in the season. And that's going to be Nate Moore, also part of the entertainment industry. Although we have the least amount of social media information on Nate Moore from anyone on the cast of Survivor 49, when you dive into the internet a little bit deeper, you would realize we have so much to go off of for this guy. He is 46 years old, also from California, adding our California tally with another player. However, what is most impressive is Nate is a producer on some of my favorite movies of all time. Working with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we are talking Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Civil War, Black Panther, The Eternals, Wakanda Forever, and we won't talk about the last one. If you checked out my previous Survivor 49 video, you would know that Jeff Probst hinted at a celebrity being in the casting pool for the season, and it turns out that celebrity was Nate Moore.
We have somebody applying for 49 who's very accomplished, known around the world. They too are going through the same casting process the same way every other player did, because this is everything. We have to know you. We have to anticipate you. There's not a right or wrong answer in casting. People often say, like, how do I get on the show? Just be yourself. We just want to know who that version of you is.
But before we talk about another person on Survivor 49 from California, if you want me to make a video on the tribe breakdown of Survivor Season 49, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If this video gets 200 likes, I will make that happen. So bouncing in with another player with the California connection, we have 29-year-old Michelle Chuagaku. Michelle is from San Diego, Diego, California, and is a fitness instructor. For the early parts of the game, being a fitness instructor and being insanely fit makes me think she'll be super safe. But how Survivor has been playing out lately, as soon as we get to the individual portion of the game, is when Michelle will need social bonds and not rely on her strength to survive.
Squats week 4.
And finally, rounding out the California connection with our fourth and final player, we have Jason Truel. Jason is an interesting one, being 31 years old from Anaheim, California. What makes him interesting is not that I couldn't find him on social media, but he used to be a Super Smash Bros. Champion and the best Zero Suit Samus player in the world, known as Jason Waterfalls. Want to know the last time Survivor had a Super Smash Bros. Legend on the show? It was Survivor Gabon with the iconic player Ken.
We have to blindside Ace, and then that's guaranteed merge for you and me. I don't trust Ace at all. I know he's sneaky. I know he has alliances back in the Dakota tribe.
Moving into our next player is my insanely early winner pick for the season. From Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, we have the 34-year-old corrections officer, Jake Latmere. Make no mistake about it, Jake will easily make it to the merge with his physical strength. But at that point, he will need to align himself with other strong players to survive. And being Canadian instantly makes you a fan favorite to me, especially with the proven track record of Canadians on Survivor.
Caleb, you are.
We have already talked about the oldest players on the season, but we are now moving into the youngest players on Survivor 49. We are talking about Nicole Mazzullo. Nicole is 26 years old from New York, New York, and works in financial crimes and compliance. Usually you would hear me rant about how the youngest player doesn't stand a chance, but I think Nicole will do just fine, which is something I can't say about the youngest dude.
My name is Rizzo, but I go by the man, the myth, the legend, R-I-Z-G-O-D, Riz God, baby.
Rizzo Veluca, going by the Riz God on Survivor. Rizzo is 25 years old from Yonkers, New York, and is a notary public. I'm going to be honest, this guy is straight cringe and so over the top that it's an embarrassment that Survivor would cast him on the season. I'm praying for a first boot so we don't have to deal with him for long. The rumor at the time of recording this video is that Rizzo is one of the 2 players from Survivor 49 that will be competing on Survivor 50. I really hope not, as Rizzo has a YouTube channel with 400 subscribers.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, R-I-Z-G-O-D, Riz God, baby, back for the 18th episode of the Riz Pod, the one and only best podcast in the game. Today, we're bringing some NFL back into the Riz Pod. It's been a while. We haven't talked about it since the Super Bowl.
This player is in their 30s and works as an event manager for my hometown of Toronto, Canada, with Jeremiah Ng. Much like Rizzo, who we just talked about, and seeing the promo for Survivor 49, I am worried about the cringe factor for Jeremiah. But at the end of the day, being Canadian means I'm gonna be cheering them on.
My parents laughed in my face when I applied to be on Survivor, but surprise, I'm on Survivor!
And now it's time to blow your mind with 5 of the women on Survivor 49 having a name that starts with the letter S. We are starting out with Sage Aranas Nicole. Sage is 30 years old from Olympia, Washington, and works as a therapist. Unfortunately, Sage is private on Instagram, but don't worry, I have given her the follow and I will keep you all in the loop if she accepts us in. Not much to go off of with the dog picture, so let's move on with another player with an S name. We have Savannah Louis. Savannah is 31 years old and works as a journalist from Atlanta, Georgia. And right here is the second player that is rumored to be competing on Survivor 50. What? If this proves to be true, I hope that Savannah plays one insanely crazy game, as the theme of in the hands of the fans doesn't make much sense when you don't have any fans yet. So you heard it here first, Savannah is most likely going far.
What's up, guys? I'm Savannah Louis, a special guest host for today, and we've got a special treat for you. I'm a huge 49ers fan.
Moving into Shannon Fairweather, pretty interesting stuff. I believe we have the most information on her from every single person on the cast, with the amount of social media content and 44,000 followers on TikTok.
As someone who's been having a very tough week this past week mentally, I've been going through some family stuff, I've been dealing with some anxiety, had a little bit of a mental breakdown.
Shannon, who is a 27-year-old social media specialist from Wakefield, Massachusetts. Yes, I get it. After all these years, I still can't say that word. It's probably hypocritical for me to say as I literally post YouTube videos, but I have the sense that Shannon thinks she's the main character with the amount of different social media accounts I found of her. At the end of the day, Survivor is a social game and you need to be able to play well with others.
Just trust. Just trust. Because what else is there to do? We can't control what's happening energetically. We can't control what's going to go on with technology. So let's just trust.
But moving into some of the craziest naming duos in Survivor history, we have Sophia Balleretti. I will explain later in the video why this is so mind-blowing. Sophia is a financial analyst from Miami, Florida that is 27 years old. With the last financial analyst we had on Survivor being such a huge hit with Emily Flippin on Survivor 45, I am pumped to see what Sophia can bring to the game.
I'm a goal-driven person. If I'm not going to win the game, I would rather be the first person voted off. It's a complete waste of time if you're not the sole survivor. Excuse me for being honest.
This will be the most confusing season in Survivor history if Sophia Balleretti makes it to the merge alongside the next player on our list with Sophia Segretti. They both like to go by the name Sophie. I can only imagine the confusion at tribal council voting.
13th person voted out of Survivor Winners at War. No. Sophie.
I bring me your torch.
Getting into the details of it, this Sophia has the last name Segretti. She is 31 years old from New York, and works as a product manager, already being followed on social media by Survivor legends Boston Rob and Parvati Shallow. May be a good sign for this Sophia.
Oh, sweet little baby Aussies think they know how to play Survivor. They're so cute.
But here we go with the 5 S's: Sage, Savannah, Shannon, Sophia, and Sophia. Yeah, that's not confusing at all. Leave a comment down below who from this list you are looking forward to seeing the most. The next player is Alex Moore, possibly related to Nate Moore as they share the same last name.
I work on Capitol Hill, and I think that has prepared me for Survivor, because one of my favorite pastimes is kissing butt.
Alex is a communications director and 26 years old from Washington, D.C. Although Alex is only 26 years old and one of the youngest players on the season, I have the sense he'll do just fine on Survivor, and from his Instagram, it's clear that he's a huge fan of Halloween. Next up is Christina Mills. From Edmond, Oklahoma, Christina is a 35-year-old associate director that is all in on her family based on her Instagram bio. Actually, her entire personality on social media is centered around her family. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but entering a game like Survivor, I don't think it will suit her well.
It was not hard leaving my family at home. As a mother of a 5 and a 4-year-old, this is vacation.
Although fan reception has changed after the season, during Survivor 44, Carson Garrett was a fan favorite, and it looks like the producers are trying to replicate the magic here with Steven Ram. Steven is 35 years old from Littleton, Colorado, giving him more age and maturity compared to Carson. But what connects them together is Steven works as a space program manager, and as you can see from his Instagram, another player that is a big fan of Halloween. Last and certainly not least, we have Matt Williams. The bearded man is a complete question mark with no knowledge on his age and nothing on social media. But he reminds me of Gabler, so I'm excited to see him play. Anyway, click right here for another Survivor 49 update video, or click here for the players rejected from Survivor 50.